Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. In this educational video, I am going to be talking about specifically isolate hemp oil. I did a previous video where I talked about all of the different types of hemp oil that are out there in the marketplace, which is full spectrum, broad spectrum, isolate, water soluble, crude. This one is going to be about the isolate product and why you may want to purchase an isolated product. There are reasons, and although I generally recommend that people take a broad spectrum or a full spectrum product, the isolate does have its place. For one thing, it's cheaper. It's where the manufacturer has taken the hemp plant and extracted only the CBD out of the hemp plant. If you were to look at a pie chart, and that pie chart has slices of pies which would represent the cannabinoids, CBD would be probably it would take up most of that pie chart. The rest of the slivers of pieces of the pie would be other cannabinoids. It could have it should on a full spectrum and broad spectrum, CBG, CBN, CBC, and so forth. Over 100 other cannabinoids, but the hemp plant is very rich in CBD, and it does a lot of the heavy lifting. So when a manufacturer extracts out just the CBD, they keep refining it and refining it, what they come up with is this beautiful crystalline powder, up to 99.9% pure CBD. It's great for minor things like some sleep issues, some anxiety issues, maybe some focus issues and so forth. Everybody's body's different in the way they process CBD, and it is beneficial. I'm not saying it isn't, but I always recommend, if you can, get a broad spectrum or full spectrum. You're going to get better results, and you don't have to take as much. That's another problem with the isolated product, is that CBD, when it's just pure CBD, you may need a little bit more of it to get a more therapeutic level. But it's a lovely product. It's used a lot in edibles. Probably 80% of edibles are made with isolates. And the reason being is because they've taken out the hempiness out of it, the chlorophyll and the waxes and the smell and the taste and all of that, most of it. So when you're eating a gummy, a chocolate, a honey stick or whatever, and it has isolate CBD, it's going to taste better. It's not going to be hempy, because it is really, the hemp plant is very skunky because it's cannabis. So it is what it is. But you may be fine with an isolated product. Again, it just really depends on what you're trying to address, or you just can't stand to take a tincture and you prefer to have an edible. Typically also, they're less expensive than something that is a broad spectrum or full spectrum or water soluble, which is far more expensive than the other ones. Probably the most expensive, but there's a good reason for it. At any rate, hopefully this will help you figure out when you see an isolated product on the shelf and you're shopping for CBD, you can sound a little intelligent and say, well, is this an isolate product? Is it a broad spectrum? Is it a full spectrum? And so forth. That will help you determine what is the right hemp oil for you. So there you have it. Happy shopping. Let me know if you have any ideas or comments. We're all over social media, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and even testimonials as to how the hemp oil is working for you. I love hearing from my customers. It's always good news, really, almost always good news. It's rare when somebody says that it didn't work. Usually it's because they didn't take enough. Probably the biggest complaint is the taste, because it is very hempy. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day.